Your flaw in the relationship?
Mean Girls.
No, your flaw.
Mean Girls.
No. First impressions are everything. I mean, the guys are coming full throttle, and then you look at Khalil.
Hey guys, and welcome to Little Black Book. Little Black Book, you know what time it is. We're talking to you guys about Khalil, the teacher who got sent home from the show alongside Christian. We're going to break it down as to why he got sent home. Remember, this is as much as a competition as it is a dating show. But there are still great lessons we can all learn from watching some of the body language and watching some of the moves and conversations that were had on the course of the show. So bear with me, stick with me, and let's break down some really deep stuff. Guys, if you're new to the channel, like, share, subscribe, click on the bell button for notification of uploads. And for those of you who are returnees, as the top says, you got the minerals, you got the minerals. All right, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. So we're dealing with Khalil, and I think it was right for him to go home from based on the clips that we saw. And the reason being is because, number one, we said this from the actual VT of his introduction. I wasn't convinced he was ready to be on that show. And the reason why I wasn't ready to be convinced, just like a lot of the people I'm not really sure if they're sure to be ready to love, is that he mentioned obviously a story about how, he was in a very bad car accident. A girl that stood beside him the whole entire time. He then decided to marry her and then didn't didn't stay in the marriage, and then there was an annulment, and then boom, okay? And then he then goes on to mention that he has a thing for mean girls. And I'm like, okay, cool. So that girl, that woman that stood beside you was probably a good girl. You rejected her. And now we're on a stage where we like mean girls. We like bad girls. And it's like, as much as you may think this sounds cute, it's not cute. Mandem, if you're here telling me you want to date mean girls, are you 18? Are you a young man? No. When you are a fully fledged, mature individual, you will realize men want peace. So the mere fact that you want a woman that is mean tells me that you may not have matured enough. You're excited by the toxicity, and that in itself is toxic. And he's very much aware of that, because when he's asked a question by Amber, his response
First
is
impressions are
concerning.
everything. I mean, the guys are coming full throttle, and then you look at Khalil. I get it. He's like, this is me. But I'm like, no.
And so Khalil is himself. Don't get it twisted. Khalil's being himself. But the trouble is, being himself at the moment sounds very broken. Now, he may have a different viewpoint to that and say he just likes hot girls who are a bit mean. But the mere fact that you're saying that tells me that, and if you're having problems dating, that is probably one of the reasons why you're having problems staying in a relationship, because are not for long term. Those type of girls are not for long term. They will do you more harm, and you end up doing them harm. So, we don't promote that. When a woman say really toxic things, I call them out. But I've got to call Khalil out. This is toxic. You're asking for mean girls. Bad girls. I keep saying mean. Bad girls, right? Sorry, I apologize. I keep saying mean girls. It's bad girls, right? But the trouble is, these bad girls, like I said, bad girls, it's not a good term. It's like the woman saying, I want a bad boy. And I'm like, why would you want a bad boy? Now, there are qualities of a bad boy that I can say to you, listen, a man should have, the confidence, the bravado, the strength, the ability to talk and not be afraid of anything. Yes, there are aspects of a bad boy that you need to tap into, but you don't date a bad boy. Not when you want peace, not when you want love, not when you want faithfulness, not when you want a longevity. You don't date them type of people. And the mere fact that you want to keep on dating them type of people shows the toxicity. And so the fact that Khalil keeps on saying that he wants to date these bad girls, listen to him again. And the question was very simple. The question was, okay, what is your baddest character flaw?
What is a character trait in you that is flawed that you could work on? And when it comes to relationships, we all have something.
Mean Girls.
He actually did answer her question, because the question was, what flaws do you have in you? And what she should have said, what Amber should have said is, what do you mean by mean girls? And then he could have gone on to explain. So his problem here is that he likes these mean, bad girls, okay? And he likes these mean, bad girls, all right? And, that is a character flaw. Like, I wouldn't even say character flaw. That's a broken lens. I wouldn't even say a character flaw. It's a broken lens. So actually, technically, the answer is not correct as in that sense, because it's not necessarily a character flaw. It's something that you're not understanding that you're getting wrong. That is a broken lens to date these type of people. All right. And so when she asks him on three occasions and he comes with the same answer, I already knew he was cancelled. He's probably cancelled from the moment he even stepped talking to her anyway. But let's break it down for the very beginning of the show in terms of his entrance, because that contributed towards the downfall of Khalil. Okay, I'm gonna keep it 100% real, right? Your entrance and your appearance in this type of environment is quintessential. You want to get there and look the part. Okay, yeah, it's like Sunday church. You want to put on your Sunday best because you're coming into a competition. The same way when you're coming into an interview, you want to look your best, okay? And so the way that Khalil enters, I think is quite interesting. Let's just have a little look.
Hi, nice to meet you.
What's up, man?
Khalil, I'm Bernicia.
Now, from this particular angle, you can't really see anything. He looks well groomed. He looks like he's in a nice suit, tie, shirt. It looks the part, okay? And as we're going on, you're gonna start to see. I mean, to be honest, the guy next to him obviously is dressed, fairly casual too. It's not like he's dressed to the nines. But again, we dress to fit, right? And Khalil, unfortunately, wasn't dressed to fit.
Let's
I like smart women. I also am looking for a woman who is supportive, but also one who is going to challenge me to do better. So
now, I want to pause there. Okay, I'll come back onto the appearance aspect. You just heard him say, I'm looking for a woman that's supportive. I'm looking for a woman that's gonna be, encouraging and smart and intelligent. Where does Mean Girls fit into there? Where does Mean Girls fit into? Let me stay hydrated. Where does Mean Girls fit into there? Where does Mean Girls come into the aspect he just described there? Right? The encourager. Where does Mean Girls come into that? Let's play it back a little bit more and hear what he said and break down what he actually said. Like, where does Mean Girls get into that, bro?
To meet you.
I like smart women. I also am looking for a woman who is supportive, but also one who is going to challenge me to do better. So what do you...
Now, how is the Mean Girl going to help you, challenge you to do better without it being broken type of improvements? Right? How is a Mean Girl going to wholesomely improve your life and ask you to improve and up your level without it being on a toxic level? There's a disconnect there, right? But he said that on his VT he likes Mean Girls. We didn't say he did, right? So from this position, he actually looks all right.
I'm a stand-up comedian.
You've been to what is it?
Still looking all right. From this particular position, it's looking a bit out. The thing is looking a bit out of shape, a little bit. But let's go.
The laugh stop? Is it laugh shop?
Here.
What's our
We'll
comedy
laugh. Improv.
Now here's the thing I said. Okay, I think I said the exact same thing about Jacob on Married at First Sight when I said from the top level he looked amazing. Then he dropped it down. He had the jeans. I was like, bro, how you have a pinstripe jacket on with a tie and a suit and shirt? And then dropped it with the jeans. I was like, yo. But when we look at, obviously, Khalil's particular fit, it's not like when you saw AJ fitted, even Troy in the background fitted, like it suits him. And unfortunately, Khalil's clothes looks a little bit baggy. And that already sets off an impression, right? Then look at the body posture, right? I said this, look, the kind of guy he is in comparison to the guy that behind him, the hands in pocket don't work. I'm just creating them, talking about first impressions. The kind of guy he is, the hands in pocket doesn't work because the person behind him is doing the exact same thing. But we know that's Joe, right? Joe is the good-looking guy, the one that's got the muscles out. He's using his body to get these girls to come in. So, but the difference is like I said, when you do it, it doesn't work exactly the same. It looks a little bit lackadaisical. A little bit like I'm too relaxed. And bear in mind as well, not just that, the content of what your mind is and what you're talking about and how you actually interact with people also then sets off a different impression when you got your hands in your pocket, right? Like when we used to play sports, to play football, right? Soccer for Americans. There are certain footballers who, when they're on the pitch, they look like they're doing nothing. Then they get the ball, they're electric. And so whenever you see them not doing anything, you're not saying anything, right? But so in a similar way, if Khalil was Joe, which we see in Joe behind the scenes here, hands in pocket don't mean nothing. He can get away with it. His face is beautiful. His body's beautiful. You know what I'm saying? He's got the chat as well. He's got the vibes. He's got the bars. So it doesn't come off so lackadaisical as it does with Khalil.
Improv, yes. When I was talking with Khalil, he is very intelligent, but I don't know, the swag wasn't there.
I didn't say it, Tressa said it, right? The swag wasn't necessarily there. And it's not like women are just looking for swag. Look, we're talking about making first impressions. You know, what you're looking at me now. How many of you have told me that my haircut was looking good? Okay, it's not as sharp as it used to be. Stay hydrated. It's not as sharp as it used to be, right? Last week. But the first thing is, as soon as I got my haircut, everyone was like, Coach, you're looking sharp. Why? Appearance. Everybody's been looking at me looking shabadolic. My hair has been moving mad since COVID, bro. Everyone's been seeing it. Beard thick and out of place and everything. So as soon as I sharpened up on that, people notice straight away. The same thing happens with your clothing. That sets off a precedence. Right? So Tressa immediately noticed the dressing wasn't as sharp, and that creates an impression, right? But I want to talk about even more deeper aspects than just the dressing. I think it's his demeanor and his energy. Let's just look at this point here. Hold on.
So stand-up comedian, there's one.
I love her already, man. I'm sorry, bro. Come on.
So here is an interesting aspect that happens. He's talking to Tressa, Jason comes over, and immediately Jason's captured her eye. But the way that Khalil looks like immediately a third wheel, that comes from the fact that, listen, in this competition, if you're not got a competitive spirit, the way that you even stand, your body language, the energy you're gonna emit is like, I'm not a fighter. In this, you need to fight. Like you didn't come to an arena, you didn't come to a safe arena. This is not a safe space. You need to fight, and that will come in your body language. That will come in your energy. Because watch Jason. Jason, as soon as Kyra comes over, my man dips and leaves Tressa and goes away with Kyra. He don't care about Tressa, but it's the impression Jason's making straight away. What, you're a comedian? Energy, straight hugs her. It's a competitive field, unfortunately, right? And in the competitive field, the extrovert does win. Like, the introvert's going to find it very, very hard, right? And so now we got the situation where he's third wheeling. Look at this.
Bro, hey, she can make me laugh, dog.
You know what I'm saying? Like, instantly full of compliments, Jason, full of energy, full of life towards Tressa. That immediately makes him look bad. That immediately makes him look bad. And so it shows his lack of confidence almost. And that, again, is not inspiring for somebody who's in the dating scene, especially for some of these women who are accomplished and established. And maybe had it been a different environment, again, remember, the environment matters. People are getting voted off. There is no, women should get to know these. They haven't got time. You're getting voted off. You know what I mean? You've got. That's what I'm saying. So this is a competition about first impressions. People got to go with what they're impressed by. If you're showing me a downward energy, a downward spiraling energy, who wants to be around that on the first impression and try to figure out whether you're actually like that or not? First impressions matter. First impressions matter. Okay, and so as soon as Jason came over, it looked like he began to crumble. It looked like he began to reduce. It looked like he began to cave in. And so that in itself was something that I believe that contributed towards also as well the downfall of Khalil. Okay, I want to even go to his actual back to the conversation with Amber and look at body language, right? Amber's body language is really interesting. Amber's body language is really interesting. Amber holds her frame up the whole entire time. She's sitting there and she's sitting upright, but he's bending. And I know it sounds so little, right? But actually it's a lot, because when you're confident in your frame and you're confident in what you're about, like you see this shit, you see me when I'm doing these things, I try not to move around too much because I'm just trying to drill what I'm getting onto, right? But when you're moving up and down like this, it shows that you're not comfortable. It can signal to let the person that you're not really comfortable in your own space. You're always like this. You're always moving around. You're fidgety. Like when you see someone that's fidgety, what do you expect? What do you think about that person? Remember, we're creating impressions in people's mind. So when I saw that she's holding frame, and it's to do with the fact that she considers herself an alpha female, so she was looking to see how he's going to match up. He decides to wilt, and he moves on to a stance where he's got his hand on his thigh, his head rested on his fist. Again, it's not a very formal upright position, right? And he moves around quite a bit.
I get it. He's like, this is me. But I'm like, no. What is...
And so the whole entire time, look at his body posture, downward spirals. Like, bro, like you're not inspiring confidence. When you're confident, you sit up. Hey, look, this is me. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm always slouched like this, like every time I do these things, this is creating an impression of I'm really, really cool. Yeah, man. It's like I'm chill, I'm laid back. When I sit forward, I'm attentive, I'm ready, I'm on the attack. Okay, cool, this is what I'm talking about. I'm ready to give you the juice, right? But when you're hunched over like this, imagine I'm doing all my videos like this and hunching over for you. So yeah, guys, how do you like my video? Do you know what I'm saying? What's God doing, bro? Right? It shows a lack of confidence, bro. The confident man, when he's confident, he sits in his chair like, listen, let me break it down to you and see what he's saying. And you see that in my body language, it's positive. So when I'm looking at his body language, I'm like, it's not a positive body language, right? It's acting like he's sitting with his mum and his mum is telling him off, right? If you're confident you like Mean Girls, you better sit up and say, listen, I like Mean Girls. Yeah, you one of them? You know what I'm saying? Hold it down. If that's what you're saying, listen, I like Mean Girls. What are you saying? You like Mean Girls? Yeah, you one of those Mean Girls? All right, cool, innit? Like you got. You know what I'm saying? It's not like I like Mean Girls still. Like what, bro? Like you know what I'm saying? So that in itself gets you to see the confidence wasn't there, bro. So this is a competition where if your confidence is not high, you will not make it long in this field, right? And I want to end it on this note as well. The consistent need to readdress the point of going back onto Mean Girls, and we'll deal with Amber in another video, is problematic, and I hope that he gets that sorted. I honestly do, because, bro, like, that need for them type of women really speaks more about yourself and what's within you and the broken lens, bro. You guys always hear me talk about broken lens. Broken lens means when your viewpoint is distorted due to traumatic events. All right, whatever traumatic event is, it could be little or small to us, but it's big to that individual person, that it changes a sensible viewpoint into now one that you're like, it's slightly askew. I'm seeing shards, right? And Mean Girls is one of them, okay? Mean Girls is one of them, okay? Everybody likes a girl that's a little bit spicy, not a problem, but you like Mean Girls? Guys, let me leave it there and say, listen, like, share, subscribe. If you agree with me, comment in the section down below. If you disagree with me, yeah, look, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I appreciate you guys. Stay locked and stay loaded. I appreciate you guys.